Trapped in my own home, the fight for control and identity. Soft, pulsing music starts playing as the narrator's voice kicks in. In just a few short sentences, I'm about to take you on a journey that will leave you questioning everything. A story of control, favoritism, and the devastating effects it can have on someone's life. But before we dive in, let me introduce myself. My name is Emily, and I'm 21 years old. You might wonder why my situation has become so dire at such a young age. Well, let me tell you, it all started with something as seemingly simple as a car. Pause for dramatic effect. You see, my parents have always had this peculiar way of showing favoritism towards one of their children, and unfortunately, that child is not me. I live with my biological mother, Sarah, and stepfather, John. My brother, Ethan, is 17 years old, and it's clear to everyone in our household that he's the apple of their eye. He's their only biological kid, and the difference in treatment between us has been palpable since we were kids. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat what happened next. Last Monday was the day my world came crashing down. My car broke down while I was driving, and it wasn't just a minor issue, it started smoking on the road. I paid $160 for a tow, and as you can imagine, I was pretty worried about the damage it might have sustained. My dad immediately called his buddy who runs a shop to get my car looked at, but here's where things took an interesting turn. When we arrived at the shop, he started asking me how much money I had saved up for a new car, as if that was somehow relevant to the situation at hand. He claimed something was hanging and broken, but when I asked him to show me what it was, he just shrugged it off. This wasn't just frustrating, it felt like an insult. I'd taken good care of my 2017 Escape. I worked 2 waitressing jobs for 3 years to afford that car. And yet, they were already talking about replacing it with something from the early 2000s, as if I was somehow deserving of a hand-me-down. It's worth noting that when we left the shop, my parents started showing me these old cars on their phones, cars from 2005 to 2010. And let me be clear, they weren't just casually browsing for fun, they were seriously considering buying one of those clunkers for me. It was then that they dropped a bombshell, they wanted to give my car to Ethan. Their reasoning? Well, according to them, it's because John, my stepfather, invested $6,000 towards the car after a government shutdown, and since I get paid to go to school due to his 100% military disability, somehow that makes it his money and his car. It doesn't matter that I'm the one who pays for my own college education, it doesn't matter that Ethan has never had a job or contributed financially in any way. In their twisted logic, they believe I should just buy a new car, again, in John's name. And as if all this wasn't enough, since my car broke down, I'm not even allowed to walk anywhere in town anymore. That's right, they're controlling every aspect of my life now. It gets worse. My mom cornered me in my room the other day and demanded to know why I was acting depressed. When I told her it was because of my car situation, she said something that will haunt me for a long time: you need to stop being depressed because you're making me depressed. Let that sink in. They think my mental health is something I can just flip a switch on and off. I've told them before about struggling with suicidal thoughts, but their response has always been superficial. The last time I talked to them about it, all they offered was dyeing my hair as some kind of solution. And now, the final insult: my elderly neighbor, who had become like a grandmother to me, passed away just before Mother's Day. Her husband told my parents that we were both invited to the funeral, which was just down the road from our house. But guess what? My mom decided for me that I wasn't going. It wasn't because I couldn't get there on foot, it was because they've taken away my independence now. And if you think this is just about being unable to drive, consider this: my sister had a monthly meeting scheduled around the same time, something utterly unimportant compared to attending a funeral for someone who cared deeply about me. Background and context. Now that we've set the stage for this heart-wrenching story, let's talk about the dynamics at play here. My brother and I have always been treated differently by our parents. Ethan gets away with just about anything. He plays video games all day, doesn't contribute financially, barely passes high school, and can't even be trusted to wake up on time. Meanwhile, I've worked hard my whole life to achieve what little success I've had. But in the eyes of my parents, that's never enough. They constantly belittle me, telling me how lucky I am to have a good car or attend college for free, thanks to John's disability benefits. It's clear that their love and favoritism are not based on our actions or achievements, they're based on something much more superficial, biology. Breaking down the situation. So what went wrong here? How did things spiral out of control so quickly? Firstly, it's essential to recognize the toxic dynamic at play. When you have a family member who constantly feels entitled and special, it creates an environment where those around them start to feel belittled and unappreciated. In our case, my parents' favoritism towards Ethan has created resentment in me, leading to feelings of anger and frustration. It's not just about the car, it's about the principle of being treated unfairly and having one's independence stripped away. Furthermore, this situation highlights a significant lack of communication and empathy from both sides. My parents should be supporting and encouraging their children, not dictating what they can or cannot do with their own lives. What would you do? As we navigate this complex web of emotions and relationships, I want to ask you, the viewers, to put yourself in my shoes for a moment. How would you handle a situation like this? Would you fight back against your parents' control and favoritism, or would you try to find ways to work around it? Should you trust that they're acting with good intentions, or do you believe their motives are more self-serving? I want to hear from you in the comments below. Share your thoughts on how I can regain my independence and take back control of my life. Conclusion. As we conclude this story, I hope you've come away with a deeper understanding of the complexities involved in family dynamics. It's not just about a car, it's about the underlying issues that have been festering for years. If you're watching this and feeling a sense of empathy or recognition, know that you're not alone. There are countless people out there who've gone through similar experiences and come out stronger on the other side. So what can I do next? First and foremost, I need to take care of myself, both physically and mentally. I'll continue to seek therapy and support from loved ones while navigating this treacherous terrain. And as for you, dear viewers, I urge you to be vigilant in your own relationships. Ask yourself, are there any dynamics at play that feel unfair or toxic? Are there ways in which you can communicate more effectively with the people around you? Your comments and subscriptions mean everything to me. It's through sharing these stories that we can create a community of understanding and support. Until next time, thank you for watching, and don't forget, your voice matters.